All right, guys, so today we have water heater that continues to go out. We're gonna go ahead and go with a control valve replacement along with the pilot assembly replacement. The good thing about Bradford White is they sell a kit that has both of them in it. And so we're gonna go ahead and replace it. Went ahead and matched the part numbers up. And so we'll go ahead and get this swapped out. First things first is we're gonna shut the gas off here. I already shut it off, shut this to the off position. I'm gonna go ahead and unscrew this here. And because that's gonna go ahead and kind of lock itself up because it's been installed for so long, I'm gonna go ahead, back it up, just like so. Undo that. Now we're gonna go ahead and undo our drip leg, just like that. Set that to the side. Next, when we go to unspin this, obviously we're gonna hit there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab here. And we'll unspin this one here, just like that. And then last but not least, we can go ahead and unspin this here. Oh, this one wanted to stay behind. We're gonna go ahead and go there, just like that. Next, we're gonna go ahead and start disconnecting all these wires from here. So, you know, take pictures if you have to, but I've done tons of these, so I just start disconnecting everything. Throw that to the side. These can go ahead and get pulled out. And then they also just get disconnected from here, just like that. That gets disconnected. You can go ahead and disconnect the tubing. And last but not least, this one here, just like that. Go ahead and bend this out like that. And then we go ahead and start taking all these little nuts off so we can get this pulled out. And then we're also going to have some tubing in this corner over here that we can't get to with our drill because it's too big, or with our impact. So I have an awesome tool. It's a Milwaukee right angle drill bit attachment. So it actually allows you to get at an angle. So we can hook that up into our impact. And then we can go ahead and hook this into our attachment. And it allows us to get in there, tight space, just like that, and just like that. And now we can just simply pull everything off. So here's one piece of the plate. And our pilot assembly out. That's going to be this piece. So when you first open your box, you're going to have a bunch of papers that you want to keep. You're going to have some extras. Control valve and the pilot assembly with all the wiring. Don't get confused. We'll throw some stuff over here. First thing I'm going to start with is the control valve. So as you can see, this is the newer version compared to this one over here. So we're going to go ahead and get this one in. Right now I have all the electronics removed from down here, which is why I'm going to do this. Whenever you do what we call a live swap, where we're not draining the water heater, we're going to go ahead and remove all the electronics from here so that way they do not get wet, because if they do, chances are they won't work. So therefore, I have the water off to the water heater, and then pretty much bled my hose bib, and I created what we call like a vacuum lock or a lock. So as you can see, this thing's full of water, but because I created a lock on it, there's no water coming out. So there's no vent for that water to come out. So I'm going to go ahead and do what we call a live swap on this valve, and we can go ahead and get very minimal water to come out from behind this control valve, since it does go directly into the tank. So I grab my massive channel locks here. There we go. Just like that. So you can see I'm getting it turned. Now, as I'm doing so, we're just gonna go slowly. And the rest I can do with my hands. Now, what I'm gonna wanna have is a rag, pretty much right here, to catch any water that falls down. And then I wanna have my new control valve ready to get threaded in. So I'm gonna do this slowly, and as I feel it popping out, I'm gonna get my new one in my hand. So as you can see, very little water. Then we get this one in. Just want to make sure you're not cross-threading, so it should go in very smoothly like that. And then you just rotate with your hands and get it very snug. So I usually go as hand tight as I can go, which may be different from your hand tight. Nonetheless, you don't want to over tighten. You just want to make sure you get it spot on. Make sure it's dead straight, which this one is right there. As you can see, it's straight, so we're good there. So that's the hardest part. So next, we're gonna go ahead and take out our contents here in this bag. First thing that you're always gonna see is this bright yellow cord. This is the cord that gets screwed onto the plate here. And so we're simply gonna take our screwdriver and we'll just get that replaced now, get it out of the way. And install the new one the same exact way. Flat side on the surface, just like so. Just like that. Now that that one's done, we can go ahead and come over here to our pilot assembly. Now your pilot assembly is always going to come in a coil, and you're just going to simply unroll it, but you don't want to be rough with it because you can kink these things and then you no longer have a working water heater. So you're going to be very careful. Pretty much grab the big portion here and just kind of unwind things slowly and straighten them out. But as we see, we already have kind of a hard angle here, so it already comes with that hard angle on there, just like that. So we'll leave their hard angle and not go back and forth with it. And then we simply unwind all this stuff here, just like that. So we're gonna have 3 separate lines that we're gonna be focusing on. Now the way this comes off of here is just with the screw. We'll use that screw, and then we don't wanna mix these up. So this is pretty much garbage. So I'm just gonna curl that back up. We're gonna get our new one in here, just like so. Slides right on in there. Get our screw, and we're just going to go ahead and put that screw in. So now our new one is pretty much ready to go. New packaging is going to come with these inner door gasket replacements. Because these gaskets are actually still intact, I'm not going to replace those. If they tore when I took them out, stuff like that, I always replace them because you do want that chamber sealed. But because these are in good condition, we're going to go ahead and obviously leave them there. We're going to go ahead and get all this stuff back in. So first things first is we can get our pilot assembly and our burner slid back into the bottom here. And you kind of got to wiggle it in. When you get it in, you want to start kind of getting these screws in slowly, because if you wait till the end, sometimes things don't match up. So I'll get this in here. I won't get it all the way in, just a little bit, just like that. So as I'm getting this next plate in I'm gonna go ahead and start seeing the position that I want all these wires in. I don't really want them crossed over each other, so I would say something like that. And you don't want them crushed together. You don't want them squished all together. They need their separate pathway. I would say something like that looks good. So the way I'm gonna achieve that is I'm gonna get my 2 screws and I'm gonna get them both in here like that, just like so. And then I'm gonna go ahead and hold them in there as I tighten it. So there's 1 screw, get that in. Just get 1 in at a time. Kind of a hard angle there. So on this one, I can also just use my screwdriver. Might be a little bit easier. That way I don't have to hold something so large. There we go. So I got that one there. I just get my screwdriver started, as you can see. And then I still have my second one to come in, go there. And as you can see, my lines are good still. And then that's pretty much that. So we're just gonna get those screwed in as tight as possible, just like so. Now those always get screwed in so that these don't keep on moving. And another thing to watch out for is you definitely don't want to pierce the lines with the screw. So something to keep out, watch out for. And we're just gonna go all the way tight on all these. Last but not least, I have my two that are in the back that I'm gonna require my right angle attachment for. So I'm gonna get that back in there, just like that. And then this is always gonna be the hardest, but I usually, like I said, I get them started first. There we go. Get that kind of there. And while it's in there, I'm gonna get that hit. I'll move these out of the way. And then, last but not least, get my last thing in there, right there. And then I'm just gonna start tightening. So I'm gonna start with these back ones first while I have them. I'm gonna go tight. So here, tight, tight, and tight. Now we can start getting everything hooked back as we did before. So this kind of comes out. Now, first things first is I always hook the largest one up first. That's gonna be this tube here. And go up there, get it straight. And then you wanna make sure it's very easy to screw in, just like that. So anytime something's screwing in good, it should go in with your fingers very easily. And then at the end, you put a tool on it. So at this point, now that I've gotten tons of turns on it, as you can see, my tool's only got one. Next, we go with our pilot tube here. Once again, this one you don't want to kink. So you're just gonna go here, make it straight, and we're just gonna screw up, see how easy that is. Right up there. Get that tight. And then we can start hooking up all of our things. So this says white on it, so you're gonna go white to white. This one already comes pre-installed with the red. So this one gets attached to here. This one gets attached back to this tab, like that. This is gonna be our igniter, just like that. And then last but not least, our communication wire. So we go here. Oh, I'm sorry, here. There we go. And that's that. So then we go ahead and group all these wires together, just like so. And clip them there so that way everything looks nice and neat. So we're tight there, we're all screwed in here. Last but not least, we're gonna get our drip leg back in. All right, so we're gonna get our drip leg back in. So any joints that I undid, kind of just get a little bit of the excess off, but we're gonna re-wrap and tape and then get some dope back on it and reseal them. So we always go 3 spin. 1, 2, 3. Just like so. 3 spins on here. 1, 2, 3. Now you never want to put any tape or dope on here because this is a flared fitting, how it's at a cone shape. You never put anything on here. And then last but not least, we have this one here. 1, 2, 3. So. All right. Now we're gonna get our tape pipe dope and we can start putting that in. So first I get that and I get my T and I go into my T first. So remember, it should go in smooth at first. Then you're gonna get your other side. And we're gonna come up here and we're gonna get our T in. Now you wanna go tight on these, but you don't wanna over tighten. So we're gonna go there. And that's the reason I'm using a smaller tool so that I have less leverage because I don't want to over tighten. It's very easy to crack this fitting right on the control valve. And when you do that, you would have to go get a brand new control valve. So I'm just gonna keep going until we get a little bit resistance. I would say this is our last turn here, just like so. Next, I can go ahead and put the bottom. We're gonna put the top in. So we'll start with the bottom. So we're gonna put dope. Put some dope there. So get that screwed in. Get that turned. Once again, on this one you can go tighter. You're gonna get a little bit of movement in this T just because of the leverage, but that's okay. It's not gonna hurt anything. Get all the way tight, just like that. Last but not least, And get this fitting. Get that screwed in. Just tighten that. Just like so. Go tight on there. Next, last, we're gonna hook our gas flex back up. Just like that. Boom. All right, so that's it. So because we have some old codes here and we put the new style gas valve on, your new gas valve is going to come with its own set of codes. When it gives you a new set of codes, it also gives you some covers because, like I said, this is a direct replacement. So we're going to put those right there. That way no one gets confused. We're also going to put this next one there. And then last but not least, we're going to get this one. We're going to put it right next to it, right there. That way, anytime this has an issue, it'll come up on there. And then just for workmanship purposes, I'm gonna go ahead and get this there, get that cleaned up, just like so. And then now we can go ahead and come back to our gas valve right here and get that turned on. When we turn that on, we're now allowing gas and a mixture of air to come over here, come in here, fill this and fill this. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and get this relit. So what I'm gonna start doing is I'm gonna hold this down on pilot mode right here. I'm gonna hold it down because we just reintroduced some fresh air into this line. I'm gonna hold it down for about a minute to two to go ahead and get that lit. All right, so after holding down for about a minute to two, we're gonna start striking our igniter as we're pushing in on pilot. So I heard it light because I'm over here, but if you didn't hear it, you can keep hitting this a million times. What we're looking for is the status light to start blinking green as we're holding this on pilot the whole time. So we're gonna keep on holding that. I know it's lit, but it's still gotta register to the unit. But like I said, if I didn't know, I just keep on hitting that. There's my green light. If you didn't see it, you can hear it and it'll keep on blinking. Once it blinks, you can go ahead and let go. When you let go, you now simply are gonna turn the pilot knob to your desired temperature. So I'm gonna turn it to about A or B, but when you look inside the sight glass, you'll see the new pilot. So you'll see it there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and turn and you'll see that flame light up. There we go. And you're gonna see that turn on. Just like so. And we obviously have a nice blue flame. Gonna burn off some of that excess oxygen there. And so we are good to go. After you turn on the gas, you always wanna go ahead and test your gas ports. And so what we're gonna go ahead and test with is, we always use Mega Bubble, that's my favorite gas. And then there's a stream setting on here, or a spray setting. I always go with the spray. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with the spray setting, and you pretty much spray all your joints. So you go here, and what will happen is if you have a gas leak, it'll go ahead and pop up and spray those bubbles. You go here, and you spray every joint. You don't want a chance of a gas leak at all. And you can spray generously, or you can, pinpoint. So you're gonna spray all that. We'll spray every single gas joint that we touch or would be responsible for, and you'll just see it like that. And if we have a leak, tons of bubbles will start blowing. And then last but not least, we test these two fittings here, as these are also gas fittings, just like so. When you're all said and done, it should look something like this. It's obviously heating. The issue was that it kept on going out. So that's why we did this replacement in the first place. So if you have something similar to this water heater, whether it's the same brand, a different brand, it's all gonna kind of be the same thing. However, parts are gonna look a little bit different. The way you shut the water down or stuff like that. And then if you always wanna be safe, you can just drain the unit completely. That way you don't have to do things live if you're not comfortable with it. If your water doesn't shut down, definitely call a plumber to get that swapped. Go ahead and put this cap back on here for the homeowner, just like that. And we're good to go.